Hey, beautiful. Welcome to Unapologetic at 50. I am your host, Sharon Fields. This is an uncapped community discussing real life issues. In your 50s, you have the right to say, I have no time for games, never regretting the past or apologizing for wanting a better future. Join me and special guests as we discuss topics and provide tools to navigate our midlife challenges. Thank you for listening and subscribing. Yes, subscribe right now to the Unapologetic at 50 podcast. Do you know that there are 8 dimensions to wellness? Financial is one of them. Is there a return on your investment? Are you interested in investing? Do you have a 401k from another company and you do not know what to do with it? Or maybe you need to start investing in your retirement. You are listening to the right podcast for the answers to your questions. Today's special guest is Mara Simoneau of Life Made to Order. She is an international speaker, best-selling author, and entrepreneur. Real talk, y'all. This is my second attempt to get this interview to you. We had an awesome conversation a week ago, and it never recorded. I was in here screaming, no, I'm not perfect, and there's no shame in my game. So I asked if she was available to interview again. She said yes. How awesome is she, y'all? She is so awesome. So without further ado, I just want to welcome Mara. Hi, Mara.
Hi, Sharon. I'm back.
Girl, thank you. Thank you. That's all I could say. I don't know what happened, but I was in here going crazy.
Oh, well, it obviously meant that we just got to have this conversation again.
That's right. So glad that we do have this opportunity. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in. So Mara, tell me or tell us about Life Made to Order.
Well, Life Made to Order Financial is my financial company with my business partner, Andre, and we are all about educating and empowering normal people about money so that they can better understand how they relate to money, why they make the financial decisions that they've been making, and how they can shift their financial picture to something more positive that's more aligned with how they want to be living their lives.
That's awesome. Yeah, we definitely need help in that area because, and I think we spoke about this before, finances aren't taught in school. Yeah, they may have at one time had a little piggy bank that you put dimes or nickels or something in, but what do you do after that? How do you prepare yourself for your future life events, right? Retirement. So I really do appreciate all that you do. And I do want to make it known that you have helped me also in multiple different areas when I was going through my divorce and explaining things to me and helping me to get myself situated so that I too would be in a position for my future that I already think that I deserve. So again, I thank you and Andre for all that you do.
We absolutely love helping our clients, and most people feel a lot of shame around money because they're thinking, I should know about this. Mm-hmm. And that's why we like to teach our free classes, because so often the most important thing somebody gets out of one of those classes is, wow, I'm not the only one that doesn't know this. Because we can be really hard on ourselves thinking, man, I should have had my stuff together sooner. And the truth is, we are right where we are. And so there's no need for guilt and shame. Instead, let's just figure out where we are and then how to get to where we want to go. And that's what we help our clients with.
Yes, that is nice. And you do that by different events that you have, right? You have something called Money 101.
Mm-hmm. We have our Money 101 class, and Andre teaches that class. We go through the top 6 money principles that all of us should learn in school that none of us are being taught. Mm-hmm. And that's a co-ed event. And we teach that class on Zoom, so it's available nationwide. And we also do have the on-demand version for people who might have little kids or have a busy work schedule. And that's a totally free class that just shares basic information with no sales pitch. And then if somebody does want to follow up and ask questions and have us help them get their financial picture in order, then we, of course, are willing to do that.
I'm glad that you did say that no sales pitch because I had the opportunity to attend multiple events as well as bring people with me so they could be educated as well. And we were never called about anything. It's like an opportunity for you to just go and learn, right? And sometimes you don't even really know what the question is, but when you're listening or amongst other people, they are asking the question. So you're learning from that too. So I thought that that was a
Absolutely. And that's
great
really what it's all
idea.
about.
Mm-hmm. Great idea. Tell us about another one of the products that you have or events that you do called Woman, Wine, and Wealth.
Yeah, so Wine, Women, and Wealth is our flagship event, and I've been, over the past 10 years, able to help launch those events nationwide. We have those events in small towns like Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and big cities like New York City and everything in between. We also host our company-wide, we host those events in Spanish, English, and Portuguese. So there is a lot of opportunity for women to get educated about money, because if the entire population isn't receiving this information, it's even worse for women. For
Right.
some reason, we're just not being taught about money. And so Wine, Women, and Wealth is a networking event that ties in a conversation around how women relate to money so that we're able to feel really confident in our money story, how we're spending our money, how we're saving our money, and feel really, really good about the financial decisions that we're making, and also knowing that we're not alone in this process, especially with women going through divorces, losing parents, raising kids. There's so many different stages, and it's so nice to have a room full or a Zoom room full of women who are at these different life stages, but are all sharing this space of learning about money together.
So true. And it also gives us an opportunity to educate others. A lot of times you'll be talking or listening to another woman and, the things that you have been through in life and was able to receive help, you can share that with them. So I definitely thought that this was a great event. I would tell people about it and they would attend, or maybe they couldn't at that time. I'm glad that there is a company like yours that is offering something like this. Is definitely beneficial. So you also offer other products. So can you tell us about the products that your business offers?
Yeah, I would love to. So basically, the way our business is built is we feel like we should be giving back first, because people do business with people they like and trust. And the
Mhm.
only way you're going to get to know us is by being around us and figuring out if you can like and trust us. So that's why we host the free Money 101 and Wine, Women, and Wealth events. And then once our clients have the opportunity to attend those with the no sales pitch and get to know us, then they can kind of decide for themselves, hey, these are people that I really feel like could help me with my finances. And we sit down and we have a free consultation, and we just talk through what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, where you are right now. Sometimes people need help figuring out where they are right now and where they want to go. And then we work with safe instruments that allow people to save for retirement, where they don't have to take risk in the stock market. So that's our number one product. It's an indexed account. And then we also offer living benefits. So I'll kind of talk through both of those so that you can kind of get an idea. But again, we're not really salesy. So it's more about helping to build the plan together and learning what your goals are. And then if we have something that can fit and support you in moving forward in your financial goals, then we're able to help you put those accounts into place. So the first thing that we really focus on, and we teach this in Money 101, are indexed accounts. And basically what those accounts are able to do is they're tied to a stock market index. like the S&P 500.
Mhm.
So for some of those, I might sound like I'm already speaking financialese. But basically what that means is when the stock market goes up, these accounts go up to a certain cap. And then if the stock market goes down, these accounts don't go down. So you actually cannot lose money based on stock market performance. So even if we have a really bad year like 2008, and maybe next I can tell you my story, but I don't want to get off on that tangent right now. But when we lose money like in 2008, what's great is you don't actually lose money. You just get to go sideways. Mm-hmm. And then when the market starts to recover, you get to earn money going forward. So those indexed accounts we can set up as 401k or IRA rollovers. So a lot of our clients have a chunk of money just kind of sitting somewhere in a 401k, and maybe they don't want it in the stock market anymore because they don't want to ride the roller coaster. We help them roll that over. Some of our clients have never started a savings plan, so we help them just begin on a monthly plan to be able to set money aside, and we help them analyze which type of account's the best for them. And then we also set those accounts up for little kids through our $1 Million Baby program. And it's amazing that if parents, when the kids are born, just start setting aside $100 a month for them, mm-hmm. if they continue to do that through their lifetime, by the time they get to retirement, these little guys are almost millionaires.
Right.
And so that's where we use the indexed accounts to benefit our clients.
Oh, wow. That is great. And the fact that you are not saying that you can never lose on an investment, right? But the way that you explained it is if the stock market goes up, you will make something. If it drops, you don't lose anything. Correct?
Yeah, and that's a really big deal. Yeah, most people don't know that that's even a possibility. Mm-hmm. They all think that sounds way too good to be true. Now, of course, if you got all of the upside and none of the downside, then yes, that sounds way too good to be true. But if you get some of the upside and none of the downside, there's ways that works. And that's what's really amazing about these types of accounts.
And how long have you been?
So that's the first big thing in our wheelhouse.
Yeah. How long have you been working with index accounts?
Those were created in 1995. And so I was in 5th grade then. So I personally have I've been working with indexed accounts for about 10 years. And it was actually, maybe I will tell my story now and then we can get to the living benefits. Mm-hmm. So when I graduated college, I was 19 years old and I took over my family construction company. I was a general contractor in San Diego, California. And I helped manage the construction projects, the business, and I also ran the 401k plan. So with the 401k plan, I had put a bunch of money in that plan, and I ended up losing $40,000 in the 2008 stock market crash. Mm-hmm. And what that did is it really shifted my perspective about money, because before that, I'd always been told, well, you can afford to lose some, you're young. Well, when you lose half of your money, I had saved $80,000 by the time I was 23. When you lose half of your money, it's like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to have to lose money. Is there another option? Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what got me excited about indexed accounts. And when I went to the first Money 101 for myself, I wasn't thinking that I would be doing this as a career, but I was just so excited there was a safe place I could put my money that would still have decent interest. And so that's kind of how I got started in this business. Is I went to a Money 101. I went to a Wine, Women, and Wealth. I was blown away. I said, oh my gosh, I love this. And then I found out that they were hiring. Yep. And so I said, hey, I would love to do this. So that's how all of this got started.
Great. Well, that's great for us. Not that you lost the money, mm-hmm. right? But at least you were able to find out about Money 101, and now you're sharing and helping so many others, which is definitely awesome. And I love the products that you offer. But you did say you also offer something called living benefits. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's another instrument that we love to put into place for families, because most families, if they have kids and own a house or any combination of those, are married or have a life partner, usually people have life insurance. And traditional life insurance is basically just in place in case you die early. So if something unexpected happens, there's money to leave to your family so that they can pay the bills and maybe pay off the house and pay off the cars and not be in debt. But what tends to happen is 9 times out of 10, it's not that somebody actually passes away. It's that somebody gets sick.
Mm-hmm.
They get a cancer diagnosis. They have a heart attack. They have a stroke. They get in a severe accident, something that's totally unexpected. And old life insurance, the death only kind, only pays if you pass away.
Right.
So what living benefits does is it lets people have access to the full amount of their death benefit. They can get a portion of that based on what happened and how that happened and some of those other details. And then they're able to basically get the money now so that they have options financially, so that they're not having to just listen to what the doctors say. What if they want an experimental surgery? Well, and they don't have the extra money to pay for it? Living benefits will pay for it. Or what if they want to do holistic treatment and their medical insurance won't cover it? Living benefits will cover it. So that's the other piece that we really like to put into place. And we believe that every person in the United States should have this type of account, because it really does. We call it the CYA, the cover your, you know what.
Yeah.
and everyone should have that in place.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because the number of bankruptcies and things of that nature also are due to medical bills, correct? A high level.
Absolutely. Yep. Bankruptcies, loss of business, and foreclosures on homes. All of them. The highest reason is health bills, medical bills that people aren't expecting to have to pay.
Now, are there specific diseases, disorders that would apply to this, or how does that work for the living benefits?
Yeah, so it basically covers like 21 top illnesses. And then there's also a different part of it. So what's cool is that there's a lot of pieces built into one plan. So if you pass away, it pays out. If you get diagnosed with a terminal illness of any sort, it pays out. If you have what's called a critical illness or injury, there's over 21 things on the list and it keeps growing. Or if you can't do 2 of your 6 activities of daily living for 90 days or more, a different part of it will kick in. So there's basically, it's the way I like to think about it is you're spending $1 and you're getting multiple options.
Right.
And that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Now, in reference to retirement, my podcast is Unapologetic at 50. So what would you say to someone that really has not started any type of savings or put anything towards their retirement at this time? Like, is it too late? No, you may not have the same amount of money that you would have if you would have started earlier, but you can still start now, correct?
Yep. What I would tell them is today's a great day to start. We can just shed the guilt and the shame, because we can always look back and say, man, I wish I would have done this when I was 20, or I wish I would have done this when I was 35. So we just get rid of the guilt and shame and we start today with what you can, because the reality is that people are living longer and longer. So if you're unapologetic at 50 or 60 or 70, you could live to be 100.
Right.
That means you could have 30, 40, or 50 more years, and you're going to need money during that time. So you might as well just start setting it aside now. And that's how we help people get started, is instead of having everybody beat everybody up about, the past decisions, instead it's let's just figure out what we can do to help get the ball rolling in the right direction.
That is awesome. And out of all of that, I heard start now. It's never too late. Because you're so right.
Yep.
You cannot change the past. You can't change what happened last week. You can't even change what happened just a few seconds ago. It's done. But you can create a different future with a different outcome.
Exactly.
So now, what about those of us that are close to retirement age, and how do we handle when it is time for disbursement? Like, is there any advice that you could give on that? Because there is tax exempt and tax deferred?
Yeah, there's a couple different types of accounts, and what you end up having to pay in taxes is dependent upon what kind of account you set up front. And so that's another key piece that we teach in Money 101 is for people to understand the difference between a tax deferred account like a 401k or IRA or 403b and a tax free account like a Roth IRA or a tax free indexed account. And what's amazing is most people, if they're saving in a traditional IRA or 401k, are thinking they're not going to have to pay tax in the future. But the truth is that all of that money has never been taxed. Mm-hmm. So all of the money they're saving plus all of their interest is going to be taxable 20, 30, 40 years from now when they want to spend it in retirement. And it's going to be taxed at a higher, it's going to be taxed at an unknown tax rate.
Right. Okay.
So what I always ask my clients is, do you think taxes are going up or down in the future? And I've never had anybody say down.
Right.
So that's where saving in a tax deferred account or pre-tax account can be dangerous because we're going to have a really big tax bill later, and it's an unknown percentage of our money that we're going to get to keep and an unknown percentage of our money that we're going to have to give to Uncle Sam. And so that's why we like to help people as much as possible to get money into a post-tax or tax-free account where the interest that grows is not taxable in the future.
Oh, okay. The interest is not taxable. Okay. All right. So then.
Yeah, because they've already paid tax on the principal.
Right. Okay, which that makes sense because then you would overall have to pay out less in tax.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
And you get to pay your taxes at today's tax rate instead of at the future tax rate, which is unknown. At least we know what the tax rate is today.
Right. Correct. So. How would someone contact you if they wanted to know more information about the products that you offer?
The best way to get a hold of us is to visit our website, which is LMTO Financial. So that's Life Made to Order, LMTOfinancial.com. And we have an amazing newsletter there that you can sign up for that drips about once a week or once every other week. Free educational videos about different components of the financial industry that most people don't learn about. Mm-hmm. So that's a free service that we offer. And then that gives us a chance to begin to invite you to Money 101 and Wine, Women, and Wealth virtually. So you can attend those events and get to know us and connect with us. And then we can take the conversation from there and see how we might be able to support. So we would love to have you visit lmtofinancial.com and just connect with us there so that we can get you an invite to Money 101 and or Wine, Women, and Wealth.
That is excellent. Thank you so much. Mara, do you have any additional advice for any of the listeners or anything else that you would like to add?
Well, I would love to share a little bit from our Wine, Women, and Wealth content, just because I think it's really supportive to begin to think about how we relate to money. I've said that a couple times so far on the podcast, and sometimes people look at me kind of sideways, like, what are you talking about? So if you kind of think back to when you were a child and you were watching your parents and kind of seeing how they either talked about money, didn't talk about money, thought about money, all of those different things influence how we make financial decisions as we grow into adults. So I would encourage you to start exploring why you do what you do with money. What stories do you say to yourself in your head? Like, oh, I'm terrible with money, or I just get money and I spend it, or whatever might just run through your head. And I would encourage you to start exploring where that's coming from and realizing that that's not really your story. You didn't decide that. Someone else told you that, and you just sort of picked it up and ran with it. And so as we want to begin to shift our financial lives, if we can allow ourselves to shift up those stories and no longer repeat the bad ones to ourselves and start to repeat something better, something that we choose instead of something that our parents gave to us, that can really shift our financial perspective enough to begin to make different financial decisions. And that begins to move us in the direction of what we really want to accomplish financially.
So true. So true. Oh, wow. That was awesome. I recently heard someone say people are born looking like their parents, but they die looking like their decisions. I was like, huh? Initially, but that's good. That definitely makes sense. And it also pertains to this because, you have the option to learn, to be educated so that you would make a better decision for your life, for your future, for your family. So you don't have to be stuck on the original path or the things that you knew, because we can't be held accountable for what we don't know. But I think that we should be held accountable for not even wanting to know anything new or
Absolutely. I
anything
think I
different.
totally
Yeah.
agree with that.
Again, Mara,
I
thank you
had
so
something come
much.
through my mind, and then I forgot what I was going to say. So I was trying to catch it again because it was perfectly aligned with what you had just said, and then I was like, oh, it's gone. Let's see. Let me think about it for 1 second. So you were saying about our parents. So if your parents were extremely rich and extremely happy, then do exactly what they did and just follow in their footsteps. But if your parents were rich and unhappy or poor and you want to be wealthier, then you've got to make a different decision. So that's where really looking at those stories that we tell ourselves can be so important.
And then overall, it's also about what it is that you want in life, right? And things are always changing too. So, the best part of that is stay open to learn something new.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, again, I want to thank you for rescheduling and providing us with this information. I think that is very, very helpful. I believe that you will have some contacts who would want additional information. So you are always a part of the family, a friend to the podcast. So if there's any changes, any new products or services that you're offering, please come back and join us and tell us about it. We are glad to have you. Maybe you can also bring Andre. The more the merrier. We're all here to learn and do better for our futures.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Thank you, Mara. Look forward to talking to you again, okay?
Sounds great. Bye, everybody. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank you. This episode was made possible by Beautiful Curves 365 Health and Wellness LLC. If you haven't already, please subscribe, share, and comment.